What do they want from me in this relationship? That's what today's reading's about. It's about figuring out what he or she wants so that you're able to better fulfill their desires. Sometimes being able to give people what they want is the difference between a friendship and a romantic relationship. Another thing is that being able to understand what a person wants within the dynamics of a relationship also helps you to figure out whether or not you actually are willing to give that. So this pick a card reading for today is focusing on romance, and we're going to be looking at your romantic interest, your partner, and we're going to be looking for what they want so that you guys can be empowered with that and help fill their desires, okay? So the first pile here is this black obsidian heart. Okay, the second pile is the bloodstone heart, and the third pile is the white opalite heart. All right. Now, before I begin, I do want to say that anything that you need to know about me, including prices for readings and how to book a reading and things like that, are in the description. I have decided to go ahead and make the wait period for readings be a little bit longer. So they're going to be, instead of being within 3 days, it's going to be within 3 to 5 days. That'll just give me a little bit more time, given that I've been getting a whole lot of reading requests, and I just want to make sure that I'm giving the appropriate amount of focus to each and every one of you, okay? So let's go ahead and get back to what we want to focus on here, and that's this reading. What do they want? Okay, well, if you still need time to pick, go ahead and pause the video. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and get started with pile 1. Okay, so we're going to be removing pile 2 and pile 3 so that we can figure out what does pile 1, what do they want in this relationship, okay? All right. Okay, so there's 3 different messages, and they're all like really strong and good ones. It's just that usually they're connected, but these aren't connected so much. First off, the one thing that they want is that they want everything with you, okay? They want you to be their all, their everything. This is something where they see the potential in this relationship, they acknowledge it, and they want this relationship to expand. They want this relationship to grow, okay? So they do recognize that, and that's definitely something that they want. However, they're battling a lot with themselves right now, and they're getting to like the core of themselves. You've really shook them up, you know? They're not used to being affected the way that they're being right now, and that is causing this kind of ego collapse right now, okay? Now, I understand that this probably looks pretty nasty, okay? It probably looks like it's not very fun, and it's not. It's painful. It's frustrating, but they're not attributing this to you. They're attributing this to becoming a more pure person, a better person, and a more authentic person. This card does correspond to the Tower in traditional tarot, but this is by no means a traditional tarot deck. So when we look at the ego and we see that collapse, what we're talking about is all of the walls people have built around themselves to protect themselves from becoming too vulnerable, from becoming too emotional, okay? And those kinds of things, they're starting to break down. And this person's becoming more raw, more real, and more themselves than in the context of emotions than they've ever been before. So what they want from you in this is to know that that's what's going on with them. They're having this kind of like I say psychic crisis, and I'm referring to like crisis of the psyche. I don't mean intuitive crisis. They're having a crisis inside of them where they are learning that they're more than what they are. They're also learning that they're a little bit less than what they thought they were too. But these lessons are positive, okay? They're coming out of this, and they're going to be better people for this, and they know that. So they're just doing a whole lot of shadow work. So just keep that in mind. And then the other thing that they really want from you is some rest. It's not rest in the relationship. It's not like they want to take a break from the relationship. I'm being told that some of you guys haven't been in communication, or some of you guys are actually in a separation right now. And what I mean by rest is I mean that they want to be able to basically deal with this ego collapse on their own right now. And I think that the rest modifies the ego collapse rather than the entire relationship. But they just need for you to know that they're struggling a lot with coming to terms with this new and growing experience that they're having with you. And that can take time. And I understand that sometimes, especially people who are more introverted, more prone to introversion, they can kind of come off as being a jerk when they're doing their introverted stuff. And it's like they don't mean to come off as being a jerk. They just know that in order for them to be able to be that person for you, they've got to get themselves straight. So all of the work you've been doing for yourself, that's great. You're right there. You're ready, right? They're not yet. But that doesn't mean they don't want it, because they do. They want it, and they want it to grow. Let's see what else they want. They also need love. This is actually a really good card to get, you guys. This is the Lover's card in this particular tarot, just so you know. This also isn't a traditional tarot deck, but just so you're aware, that's what this one means. So yeah, they want love. They want to come together. They're recognizing that they want to come into union with you. They want to be with you. They want to share all of the different ways that two people who are in love share one another in their life. Okay, they do want that as well. So any kind of loving words that you can give to them, anything like that will help, will be good. In this situation, it's not like they want you to leave them alone. Not at all. They just want you to be aware that they can't make any decisions right now. Like, even simple decisions, they feel like they can't make right now, because they have to work on what's going on inside of themselves before they can even commit to yes or no about something like really silly. Like, for example, if you were to ask for dinner, would you rather have, I'm just pretending, like, would you rather have a piece of pizza or would you rather have a hamburger? They'd just freeze up. They wouldn't know what to say. It's like, that's how extreme their, and it's not an indecision thing, but it's like how paralyzed they are. That's how extreme they are in their paralysis right now. And then, of course, they want to find balance. And that's what this whole thing is about, you know? They need some rest so that they can deal with this shadow work. They do want this as a relationship, definitely. They do want love from you. They do, and they do also want to give that as well. And they just really like a nice balance too, because, you know, they're tired of this too. Okay, they just know that they have to get really raw and really vulnerable with you, and it's just about getting to that point where they're like, okay, all my walls are down. Now I can be real, that kind of thing. And they also want you to know that you're like an answered prayer for them. You're something that they've wanted before they even knew you existed. That it's like you're better than what they could have even imagined in a situation like this, okay? So being an answered prayer for them is just that, you know, you fulfill things. Sorry about that. My electronics are talking to me. You fulfill things, like desires that they have that they didn't even know they had. Because, you know, when we plan something, We can only plan to our own limited idea of the way the world can be. But when one feels as though they've had an answered prayer, it's like that. What one gets from that is something better than what they could have imagined, because it's perfect. It comes from some kind of divine. It comes from the divine. It comes from spirit. It comes from what name that you give to it. It comes from that something more that they and they recognize that. They recognize that this is a more of a spiritual connection as well. So you guys, I mean, yeah, they need some time to work on this, but overall, this is really, really good. So, it just looks like you just need to be giving them a lot of positive feedback and emotions, and also allow them to have that space to come to their own conclusions, okay? And by conclusions, I just mean their own conclusions about themselves in this situation. Hi, pile 2. Okay, so what do they want? What do they want in this relationship? Let's go ahead and look at this. This is an interesting one. Okay, so we've got Guardian. So like they want to be protected in this. They feel like with you that they can be protected, and they want more of that. They feel the way that it feels to me intuitively is like they can be vulnerable with you without feeling like awkward about it or like you're gonna judge them. So they really like that lack of judgment, but it's like a little bit more than that. It's not just, oh well, they don't judge me for you know, maybe because I'm just pretending like I'm afraid of the dark, or because I'm afraid of spiders or whatever. It's not just that. It's like they also feel like you want to protect them as well. Like not only are you listening to, gosh, I really don't like it when this happens, but you're also actively acting on that and making certain that you are reassuring them that you're not going to do that to them. So they feel they want to feel protected by you. That's a really interesting feeling, especially since it feels, and I know not all of you guys are asking about a masculine, but it just feels like such a feminine need. Yet I know that many of the people who are looking at this situation are looking into masculine energy. So it's just a really interesting kind of, I guess maybe role reversal, or that gender fluidity that we all experience in this situation. So that's kind of interesting. He or she also wants, by the way, this is my favorite card. Okay, I feel like I always have to say that. This is my favorite card in the deck. I have no idea why it's my favorite card. It just is. I can't explain it. I'm just really drawn to it. So this guy in this picture, okay, he's the creeper. Okay, that's the best way I can put it. It's the Knight of Angels. He's a watcher, okay? This is a person that checks up on you on social media, the person that rereads everything that you send them multiple times, the person that wants to, like they keep track of things, and something that you can do to get some confirmation that this is the person that I'm talking about is just think about this person in the past and think about what they remember. Like they remember all these weird things about you that most people might not, okay? And so basically what they want from you is they want more material. Isn't that weird? They want more material. They want to know all of this stuff about you. It's like they want to pull all of this information from you. Now, you might not feel like sharing that with them because maybe the relationship isn't where it is for you to feel comfortable with that. But that's what they want. They want more information about you. They just want to know all sorts of stuff about you. And then another thing that they want is that they want to know what you have, like, like what you have planned for the relationship, what kind of ideas you have about the relationship. Now, I'm not talking about how, like, they don't necessarily want for you to say, well, I'd like to get married in X amount of years and then I'd like to have this many kids, or anything like that. That's not what I'm talking about. They just want to know, do you see this as a long-term thing, or do you see this more as a short-term thing? I'm also getting that, like, this might be like, is this just sexual, or is it more than that? I think for some of you that will apply, but I think for most of you it's just about knowing what you want out of this, you know? So like they want to know what you want. So that's a kind of interesting dynamic there. And just because I feel like it's important to point it out, this is the Queen of Angels. She's a visionary, okay? And then this guy, remember, he's a Knight of Angels. So just know that he also kind of feels like you're somewhat above him, you know, just a little bit. Like there's something like you're better than him somehow. Like there's something about you that might be out of his league. So he's kind of like a little bit. I'm sorry, I say he, and I'm talking about these characters. This applies to all genders, all relationship types and styles, and all of that. Choose your own pronouns. Know that I am inclusive of every single kind of relationship. It's just that those are the words that just keep coming out of my mouth because I'm talking about a knight and a queen. But this character, your person, sees you, this character, as being a little bit above them. So they're a little cautious in moving forward. That doesn't mean that they're not going to, because knight energy is always about moving forward. And this is a knight that moves forward pretty quickly. So you're not going to have any problems with that. Yeah, I mean, this is like really, really positive. It looks like a really healthy relationship so far. Okay, they'd like more communication. That's what they'd like. And also, like, they recognize that they're kind of contributing to this a little bit. But they'd like more communication from you. And I'm being told, like, more meaningful communication. Not just like, oh, hey, how are you doing? And that's it. They'd like some real juicy questions. like something, you know, like, what are your biggest fears? You know, like questions that really probe and really, like, get to the heart of the matter. And then right now they're feeling alone. They don't want to feel alone, though. None of the rest of this stuff goes with this. Okay, see how you've got this color motif where everything's blue, and then you've got this bright card here. This is like an alert. Like, they're feeling lonely. They're feeling alone right now. Something that you help them with is to not feel alone. And every time I see the moon, I know that there's something that's being hidden. They feel like they don't feel like you're hiding anything from them or anything like that, but they feel like there's something that could be said that hasn't been said. And I think that's why the throat chakra and the communication's coming out there, okay? And this also has to do with clarity as well. Clarity of mind and clarity of communication, of course. So, I mean, this really looks, you know, something that I'm thinking as I'm, you know, reading this and as I'm entering in this energy of this reading, is like, this is so atypical from what I usually get when I'm reading for another person, in that I usually get that it's the other person that wants the communication more, or the other person that wants some of this stuff, but, you know, the person that I'm reading for. But in this case, it's the person that you're inquiring about, the person that the viewer's inquiring about that needs that. They want to connect. They really do. One thing about them, though, is that they want to connect on a deep level. They want depth and not breadth. So they're just looking for there to be a deeper connection between the two of you. And new beginnings, they really do want to take this. They want to take this and do something with it, okay? They don't want to just, they don't want it to stay where it is right now. They want it to be a little bit more than what it is right now. Now, even though they are going to be moving towards you rather quickly, the new beginnings is also referring to, you know, it's like, it's energy that's well paced. for the relationship. So that's something else. New beginnings, because we're doing a relationship reading, is going to refer to new beginnings in relationships. However, I am also being told that there are also new beginnings going on in both of your lives right now too. So it's kind of like there's a like motif with both of you, and that might just be a synchronicity that's going on too, because oftentimes when there's a connection like this, like those synchronicities just start, going way up. It might just be a synchronicity that you're both starting out something new in a different area of your life as well. So just kind of keep that in mind too. This looks pretty good. I mean, it really does. And if you're worried about them not coming forward, they are going to be coming forward very soon. I mean, it's very, very soon. And then, there's a lot of vulnerable issues here. They want to feel protected. They want to feel, and they do, but they just want more of that. And then, they just want, they do want communication. Okay? Alrighty. Hi, those of you who picked pile 3. All right, the white opalite pile. We're going to go ahead and look at what your person wants in this relationship. Okay, so we've got receiving, harmony, and adventurer. Okay, this looks good. They want to make sure that their feelings for you is mutual. They're also wondering if you are taking good care of yourself. They worry that maybe you're not taking as good care of yourself as you do other people. They see you as somebody who takes care of other people so well, and it might even be your job to take care of people. I'm getting that some of you might take care of people as a job, but they're worried that you're not receiving the care that you need to get as well. So they also want you to take care of yourself, but they also just want this mutual give and take in this relationship. When let's see, 14 is the acceptance and it's harmony. Okay, so harmony in this particular instance is talking about, it's talking a little bit about balance, but it's also talking like not too much of this and not too much of that, just enough. It's like maybe a recipe that you might know that's really sensitive to the amount of ingredients. Some recipes are more sensitive than others. It's kind of like something like that, a real nice balancing act. Now, I'm not saying that you have to walk on eggshells or anything to make sure that you're being harmonious, but another thing that comes up with harmony for me is that I always feel like harmony is also talking about music. Think about songs that you really like where there's harmonizing in it, okay? And I know that a lot of people probably don't like this band, but like there's a lot of harmony in, for example, the Backstreet Boys. There's also a lot of harmonizing in Boys to Men. You might think about like an a cappella choir where there's a lot of harmonizing there. It's basically what they want from you is to put both of your ideas together to make something beautiful out of that. Because even if you don't like the bands or the music that I'm talking about, they're at least trying to make something that sounds good, right? So in this case, like they want something beautiful. They want to create something beautiful with you, and they want you guys to be co-creators in that. And I think that that's really beautiful. And then another thing that they want is adventure. Okay, this Knight of Stars. I mean, he or she is really coming after you. They really want to get this started. And they just want to know, like, what does life have for the two of you, right? This would be somebody that I feel is a little bit more extroverted than introverted. As far as like once they get going, they're extroverted. That's what I mean. They just have, and it might just be that they're more playful, or more, like adventurous. It doesn't necessarily have to be literal, like Indiana Jones type stuff, right? For those of you who have seen that, it's more like they just want to have experiences with you, and they want to experience life and all of its thrills with you. Okay, so what else do they want? Okay, we've got the third eye chakra. So they want this to be on a spiritual level too. I think that this person's really in tune with spirituality. This might refer to religion as well. So this might be a situation where you've met at a religious institute or something like that, or your religion has brought you together. Third eye chakra is the chakra that gives visions. It's like the chakra involved in dreams. It's like the mind's eye, that kind of thing. So, what they want is for you to have ideas about what to do in the future with this person. They don't necessarily need to know what those ideas are. They just want you to have them. They basically just want you to want this relationship to have a future. Okay, and then the other aspect of the third eye chakra is just that they recognize that this is something that needs to also have some kind of level of spirituality associated with it. And I feel like they're a really tolerant person too, so it doesn't necessarily matter what kind of spirituality, just that there is an acknowledgement that there's, something more going on, that kind of thing. Okay, they also would like for you to change your focus. And I think that this change your focus goes back to the receiving. I'm just looking at the colors and how the colors have come out here. And colors and readings for me personally actually do mean things. So, some readers don't read like that, but I do, because you've got this receiving card, like where they're concerned that you're not giving yourself enough attention, but of course they want attention too, but they're worried that you're not giving yourself your own attention. And then, like, change your focus. I really think that this has more to do with, like, giving to yourself, so if you happen to be in the situation where you're focusing a lot on the relationship and maybe neglecting some things in your life as a result, they want you to make sure that you take care of those things too. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be the focus on the relationship. It could be your job. It could be something else. But it's like they don't want you to do too much. They want you to also just enjoy yourself. They want you to have a positive outlook. They want you to be relaxed and and like, they don't want you to be stressed out, and they want you to be able to take care of the things that you need to take care of so that you're happy. Okay, so that's what that has to do with. Oh wow, isn't this interesting? You guys also got the harmony card again. So, like, this, like, doubling down on this idea of harmony, like, oh my gosh, this has happened in another reading, but it was a little bit more intense when it happened. But the idea that the harmony card would come out in two separate decks is, like, pretty significant to me as a reader. It doesn't happen very often. So when it does happen, I know that this is really important. This is a really important aspect of it. They really want to create something with you. They really want, and you can see that in this card, harmony is being connected to music, so yeah, they want to make sure that the two of you are blending and you're both putting in energy into this relationship so that you can make something beautiful. It might literally be music, but chances are it's more like they want to work with you, and they get along with you, and create something beautiful with you as a relationship. So what they want from you is basically the opportunity to do this stuff. That's what they're wanting. I get the feeling that they want more what's best for you than they want stuff for themselves, and I think that that's really an interesting thing, and not something that I expected when I did this reading. When I started this reading, I didn't expect that I was going to get a pile that would be more about, like, this kind of selfless feeling of, I want this other person to be okay, so viewers that are watching this third one, this third reading for your person, your person's very concerned about you. They want to make sure you're okay. And so, that's what they want. They want you to take care of yourself. They want to make sure that you're happy. Another thing that this does bring to mind, though, is also that there could be an underlying fear, and I think this only applies to a few of you guys, but it's come up, so I feel like I need to say it. There could be an underlying fear that you can't be harmonious, that you can't work together, or an underlying fear that you're not going to be taking care of yourself as much, and that for them, they know that in order to have a healthy relationship with you, that you guys have both, got to want it, and that you've got to be able to be happy in this situation. I don't feel like that applies to most of you guys, though. I just think that a few people it does, and that's why I'm saying it. So, you guys, really focus on the harmony right now, and like what that means to you too, okay? Because I can interpret the cards and give you some ideas about it, and I am intuitively led, so it's not just the cards, it's also that intuition and that kind of channeling of that of spirit, right? But there's also especially since the third eye chakra is coming up, there's also your own interpretation, and it also feels important for me to mention that you've got to apply your own interpretation to this too. So if harmony means something to you and that really sticks out, because gosh, it came out twice, okay? So it's gotta, there might be some extra meaning for some of you. Go with that too, keep that in mind as well, because this is much an exchange of information as it is just me telling you the information, okay? You can use this information and interpret it the way that you need to as well. So just kind of keep that in mind as well. So this is great. I like this one. I really do. I think that there's just a lot of beautiful energy in this one. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video to the end. I really appreciate all responses. Of course I love the likes and subscribes, but more importantly, I just want to know what you're thinking about these videos and if you're enjoying them or not. If you have an idea for a pick a card reading, please share it with me. I'll put it on my list and I'll try to get that done. Really you guys, I'm really thrilled that I'm getting the kind of feedback that I'm getting. I'm so happy that I'm able to connect with you guys and that I'm doing something meaningful and positive by sharing these videos with you. So I'll go ahead and see you tomorrow.